Okay, so let's jump right in. The Global Rulebook for Hospital Quality and Safety, the standard that the best hospitals all over the world are measured by, it just got a huge update. We're talking about the Joint Commission International's 8th edition, and trust me, it introduces a completely new way of thinking about what a hospital's job really is. So let's start with a big question, a really big one. What if a hospital's mission went way beyond its own four walls? What if its purpose wasn't just about healing individual patients, but about healing on a global scale? This is the wild, provocative idea that's right at the heart of JCI's new standards. And here it is. This is the source of this whole paradigm shift, the new JCI 8th edition manual. For any hospital leader out there, this is more than just a guide. It's the new blueprint for what excellence looks like. And it all officially kicks off on January 1st, 2025. Now, to really get why this update matters so much, you've got to understand that JCI accreditation is the global gold standard. It's the seal of approval that tells everyone, patients, governments, you name it, that a hospital is absolutely committed to the highest possible levels of quality and safety. It's a huge deal. And with this 8th edition, that gold standard now includes something brand new and, frankly, revolutionary. This isn't just some minor tweak in the wording. We're talking about a fundamental redefinition of what a hospital is supposed to be doing in the 21st century. Here's the bottom line. Hospitals are no longer just seen as passive places you go when you're sick. JCI is now positioning them as active, powerful agents for global health transformation. They're being tasked with helping to solve some of the biggest challenges we all face. And this whole shift gets its own brand new chapter in the manual. You can see it right here, Section 4, called Global Health Impact. It was actually co-developed with the International Hospital Federation, and it is entirely dedicated to this big, expanded mission. So what does global health impact actually mean in practice? And why is this happening now? Well, it's a direct response to these massive global trends, right? Think about the huge carbon footprint of the healthcare industry, or the burnout crisis we've seen with healthcare workers. JCI is saying hospitals have to play a part. So they've broken it down into 3 core areas: environmental sustainability, workforce empowerment, and resilience. Now, the rollout plan for this is pretty smart. During 2025, these new GHI standards are going to be scored, but it won't actually affect a hospital's accreditation. You can think of it as a grace period, a practice year. But come January 2026, the training wheels are off. Full compliance becomes mandatory. So the clock is definitely ticking. Okay, this is an incredibly ambitious vision, right? Turning a hospital into an engine for global change. It sounds amazing, but the real question is, how on earth do you actually build that? How do you create the leadership and the structures to make something this big a reality? Well, the answer lies in another really critical chapter: governance, leadership, and direction, or GLD for short. Now, this has always been a cornerstone for JCI, but now it's being highlighted as the absolute foundational engine that's going to power this entire new vision. The key thing to get about GLD is that it provides the how. It's the playbook. It's the framework that ensures accountability, ethics, and clear strategy. It's about making sure everyone, from the board of directors all the way to the frontline staff, is pulling in the exact same direction. I think this analogy is perfect. If global health impact is the amazing, futuristic skyscraper you want to build, then GLD is your detailed architectural blueprint. It's the rock-solid foundation. Without that strong GLD, that amazing GHI vision, well, it just stays a dream. It can't be built. So how does this leadership framework actually work? The good news is we can boil down all these complex GLD standards into 3 core pillars that really define what effective hospital leadership looks like now. And here they are. It's pretty straightforward, really. First, you need a clear mission and strong accountability. Second, an absolutely relentless focus on quality and safety. And third, a robust framework for ethics that shapes the entire hospital culture. Let's just touch on each one really quick. Pillar 1 is all about setting that North Star. It's leadership's job to define the hospital's mission, to make sure everyone, and I mean everyone, understands it, and then to create clear lines of oversight to make sure the hospital is actually delivering what it promised. Pillar 2 is all about active leadership. This isn't something leaders can just delegate and forget about. The new standards are crystal clear. Leaders are personally responsible for the planning, the implementation, and the reporting on the hospital's quality program. They own it, period. And pillar 3 is really about the hospital's character, its soul. It's not enough just to have a rule book of ethics. Leaders have to actively build an ethical framework and foster a culture where safety and quality are just baked into everything that everyone does. It's about creating the right environment.
Okay, so that's all the theory, but what does this new emphasis on leadership actually look like, on the ground, in the real world? Let's check out a really concrete example of how these standards are evolving.
This slide says it all, really. In the old 7th edition, the focus was on establishing a general culture of safety, which is great, don't get me wrong. But look at the 8th edition. It's so much more specific, so much more demanding. It now requires a formal program to actively prevent workplace violence. That is a tangible, measurable step up. In this quote right here, this just ties it all together. This is the new job description for a hospital leader. You have to connect the dots. Every single strategic decision you make, whether it's about buying new tech or community outreach, it has to link back to those big global health impact goals. So we end up right back where we started with a question. The JCI 8th edition has laid out a new, more demanding, and honestly, a much more inspiring vision for what a hospital can be. So the question for every healthcare leader watching is no longer just, is your hospital safe? It's now, is your hospital leading the future of health?